What's up, guys? It's your host, Spartanic Arts DxD, back with another high school DxD related video. And today we have What If Issei Went Rogue, Part 10. I think this might be the finale, but I'm not too sure. Obviously, you can read the title if I named it that, so yeah. Maybe this might be like an hour, I'm not exactly sure, but hopefully you guys do enjoy the video, and your boy has made his sewing return. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying those shorts I've been posting as well. I just think they're really funny, and they're easy to post and things like that, and they still keep... that does take like a huge weight off my shoulders to not only post like 40-50 minute videos every day. So thank you. Actually expect daily uploads from now on with shorts and these in general. And I was also thinking about doing something, so I don't know what it is, but in my mind it's easier to do this than the other thing. So for example, what if Issei went rogue part like 5 or something like that. I'm just making up a random scenario. No, what if Issei went emotionless part 1 and it's 10 minutes, then part 2 it's 10 minutes, part 3 is 10 minutes, part 4 is 10 minutes. But I might upload those every single day and you guys still get that, because it just seems like it's less work for me, even though it's actually not. But that's how it works in my brain, so you know, it's called copium. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys all know that stuff. But if you guys want to know exactly when my upload schedule is, or my upload schedule or whatever, just click the little blue button right next to the subscribe button, or click the first link in the description down below to become a channel member today. You know, I haven't done this in a while. I'm messing up. But without further ado, hopefully we can hit like 300 to 400 likes. That'd be absolutely amazing. What if Issei went emotionless? Or I have like a couple stories on deck if I just gotta make up like the titles. So yeah, so I don't worry, I've been checking my email as well, so don't even stress it. But without further ado, let's go and make my balance breakers. Rob the King, Lachlan Yates, Jordan Patchow, Aunt Lewis, Night Ammo, Refeek135, Asamotus, Slow, The Black Dragon Emperor, Keep Saying 21, Louis Bermudez, $5 Sake, VR Wish Tag Tech Dude 347, Night Ammo, Ziki 2000, Seth Voiles, The PS Gamer, XRX 108, Sinrar Q, Legendary Say 98, Mazaku, Dr. MG underscore is the bomb, Grimfire Shot Gamer, That Round Guy, Zero Fusion, Source Spawner, Chaotic Raven, The J Boys, Ryuga. Thank you so much for becoming a balance breaker. You guys have no idea how much it helps to support me. If you want to become a limit breaker, it's literally only, I think it's only $2.99, which that's it. I made it pretty cheap, you know, because I understand people have money troubles. I have the same issue as well. So thank you so much for the support, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into part 10. Chapter 34, where we left off. During the way towards Stalin, they found out Kolpus decided to went with the knights and headed off somewhere else. She broke the engagement between her and Ginyu. Yarise headed to the capital to take the night test. Along the way to Stalin, Ramius kept gazing at her hand, or her ring, more specifically. Issei, who's seeing her, become intrigued. "What's wrong?" Issei said. "Nothing. Well, we are married now, but it was also sudden that it doesn't feel real. I can't believe I finally get married after all this time. And I married the man I truly love at that." "Well, you better start believing it now, because I won't let you go on no matter what." Issei pulled Ramius towards him and gave a soft kiss on the lips. Here we go with this again. Issei then let go of her waist and took her hand with his own. "What are you? I'm holding your hand, of course. You mean you want to do thumb wrestling?" Ramius said, "No, silly. I mean I'm holding your hand just like a couple would do." "Oh, sorry. It's just I've never held hands with the opposite gender before, so I'm kind of nervous." Issei chuckled and said, It seems I'm going to be your first for everything, huh?" Ramius, who heard that, became really bashful and her face went red. "Well, let's go." Ramius just stuttered. But along the way, she's being very nervous having Issei holding her hand. She kept thinking all this stuff, like I'm holding hands with Issei, blah, 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 this, his hands are sweaty, my palms are sweaty, his hands are masculine, they're bigger than mine, well, I'm nervous. "I'm a bit embarrassed, or maybe, tense," Ramius said. "Well, we've done more embarrassing things together, so holding hands should be nothing too, right?" Issei said. You're right. This should be nothing compared to what we did yesterday." Even though she already said that, but she's still very nervous inside. Then, they walked together while holding hands. Every monster or outlaws who tried to ambush them along the way got killed with Issei's just aura. They all just died because of a heart attack even before they showed themselves in front of Issei and Ramius. So Ramius never realized there was a bunch of monster or outlaws trying to ambush them along the way. Issei won't let his sweet time together with his wife be ruined by some trash who can't read the mood. At some point, Ramius started thinking if she could call Issei something different, such as honey, darling, etc. I can't be too ashamed to even fight. It needs to be something not too embarrassing yet strong enough to express our relationship," she said. Issei saw that she's thinking about something so seriously. while being red-faced is just silently watching her because she thinks she's acting very cute right now. Ramius finally realized his gaze and asked, "What's wrong?" "Nothing, it's just that you're really adorable," he said with a smile. "Huh? Thank you, dear." Issei, who heard and froze Ramius, was confused. He suddenly stopped, then she tried looking at his face. "Dear?" Ramius said. Issei hurriedly averted his face because he doesn't want Ramius to see his face right now because he blushed because of the way she called him. Then he told Ramius don't call him that because he's too embarrassed being called that by her. Ramius, confused by the first word, why he's embarrassed in the first place. Then Issei said that what she feels if he calls her with the same nickname too, then she realizes it's indeed embarrassing. For some time after, Ramius hardly said a word. The same goes with Issei. They keep sightseeing along the way. Issei saw a giant crab taking on destroyed by a city along the way. Ramius said that's a mega monster called Giant Duraku, and that town is destroyed by it in the past. The reason that citizen of the town keeps eating crab all the time, hence it is retaliated by destroying the city, but no casualties because they evacuated the town in time. Issei and Ramius, if allowed to kill it, and she says mega monsters are very strong, so it's not wise to challenge it alone. Besides, they're not aggressive unless provoked, so the knights never bother them either. They already have their handful on handling normal monsters and outlaws, so they don't have time to take care of it for the moment. Even for a zero knight, they are a bother to take down. There's no bounty for killing them either way, so Issei just ignored the giant Arakadu for now. After a while, they arrived at the fortress Burion. So this is the fortress, Issei says. In order to challenge powerful monsters in this territory, Marquis Burion risked his life to construct this fortress. Thanks to his efforts, the strong monsters were driven away, letting people here relatively peaceful. Or the stories say. It's a pretty old building. It has some history here and there, so there have been many tourists as of late. There are some tourists who turned his back to the river and threw a coin behind him. What is he doing? Issei said, "Making a wish." "Huh? The whole river's a wishing fountain or something?" Issei's confused now. "I'm sorry, I just wanted to look smart. I don't actually know anything." Ramius looked horribly depressed after that. Issei, who saw the stroke, stroked her head gently while saying, "It's fine. I'm grateful for your effort alone, Ramius," and she instantly cheered up after hearing that. Then they went past the fortress after that. After a while, they finally see Stalin town. Stalin is up ahead, and the villa is over the lake. There is my family's second house. My brother owns it at the moment, but I've never seen him use it. Ramius says, Would it be destroyed by monsters if they built it there? Issei says, "Don't worry about that much. Much like adventure campsites, the house has a complete monster-repelling barrier." "I see," Issei says. Then they enter Stalin's town. Issei's impression as he entered Stalin was that the horses were even more packed together than in Abel town. The streets clearly had more people, and by judging by appearance, they are ranged from farmers and merchants to Australians and adventurers. Issei and Ramius head towards the Dresden residence right after the arriving at the city. Along the way, Ramius is confused about why Issei is wearing his hood all the time, and when he told her the reason why she is a bit confused at first, that she realized that is indeed true. If the handsome face of Issei out in the open, then they would keep being stared at by people, especially the girls. Ramius approves of it. Then they reached Ramius's home. "Look, that's the house where I was born and raised," Ramius said. It's particularly large residence that stood out from the others. It's pretty normal considering that this is a major's residence, though. At this hour, father should still be home. Let's get introductions out of the way. We better hurry when Trevo arrive. Then Ramius dragged Issei by the arm into the house. "Father, where are you?" Ramius said. "Dad ran out to detergent or something, so he ran out to do some shopping." An errand like that could be left to a maid. Father's obsession with cleanliness can be troubling sometimes. What do you expect? His job's more than less honorary one, so he's got a lot of time on his hands. Wait, Ani? Ani equals Big Brother, by the way. In front of them stands Archibald dressing. Ramius' big brother. He's a very tall guy with a macho build. He has a scar on his left eye. His face is quite average, but very manly. He has a short white hair and his skin is quite tan, unlike Ramius, who wears all black outfit. Archibald wears almost all white and a red cape on his back and his left shoulder pad, as he carries two giant white greatswords on his back. He wears metal white boots. So this is Ramius' brother, one of the Zero Knight. Well, he's indeed quite strong. There's something wrong with him, though. I can't quite tell what it is, but there's something off about him, Issei says. Issei can feel something off with Archibald, but he can't tell exactly We'll only know why later in the future. While Issei is inspecting Archibald, Archibald is doing the same. Archibald thoughts after seeing Issei. I can't feel this guy's strength at all. It's like he's just a harmless bystander. But that's not it. I could tell if someone was weak or just from a glance, usually, but I can't tell his strength at all. Damn. Either he's hiding his power with some technique or he's just that strong. I never felt anything like this before. Archibald back, unknowingly drenched with sweat a little. So he tried to make a conversation. Oi, what's on your hand? Archibald said. He looked towards the interlocked hands, or more specifically the ring. Ramius gasped at his sudden bloodlust. Well, Issei doesn't look like he feels anything. Even that isn't enough to make him flinch, huh? He admits his bloodlust towards them, especially Issei. I'm asking you what that ring is. Hey, did you do it? Did you already do the nasty? Archibald says. Huh? Ramius replies. It's too late. There's a criminal in our family. How am I supposed to face mom in heaven now? Ramius' brother fell to his knees where his seeping bloodlust dissipated. Issei, this dolt is my elder brother Archibald, a holder of the title Zero Knight. Issei's at a loss for words after seeing him like that. I don't have a clue why he's acting like this either, but we ran into him, so we'll have to put up with it. Ani, could you please get up and start introducing yourself? Archibald ignored his words and took a look towards Issei. How can I apologize for what she did? I'll pay reparations, of course, so please forgive us, Archibald said. Wait, what kind of introduction is that? It's not. It's an apology. This is a heartfelt groveling, you moron. Who are you calling a moron? No way anyone would marry you, meaning you must have assaulted him. Can't lead to real love. That's delusional, Archibald says. Don't treat me like a deviant. This is why I didn't want to see you anyway. Issei and I wanted each other. What? Hey man, is she serious? Yeah, Issei said. This is a woman who can wrestle a monster. You're telling me you wanted her? She's incredibly cute. So yeah, Issei replied. Cute? Who would have thought you'd ever find a man who'd call you that, Archibald said. He looks towards Ramius while saying that. Ramius is feeling bashful hearing Issei's words, but she responds to Archibald's words anyway. Ani, Issei's actually a very strong fighter. He's not a normal man. Archibald thought, no shit, he might even be stronger than me. But Yak's clueless. You can fight? Ah, Issei says. I can vouch for his strength. Issei says he wants to become a knight. A prospective knight, huh? You picked a bad time for that, Archibald. Something's wrong, Issei said. Oh, well, the thing is we're cutting down the number of knights, Archibald said. Why? Issei replied. Shit happened, Archibald said. There's a small opening, but I'm sure Issei can do it. Pretty easily, too. Well, just perfect then. Ramius, quit being a knight. Archibald says, what? You're not cut out for it. Just let him do the knight stuff and work on being a wife instead, Archibald said. But helping the weak is you just charge in alone and mess up so that they call you the loner knight. And you think you can argue with me? Archibald says. Well, Issei just calmly looks toward them, but he knows Archibald is saying all of that to protect Ramius. There's no ill intention towards her from Archibald, but he still won't let anyone badmouth his wife, no matter who it was. I think Ramius is a perfect knight, Issei says. Issei? Sure, she could be short-sighted sometimes, but boldly running off and to help someone in need is pretty knightly to me, and besides, as her husband, I will always be there for her to prevent anything bad happening to her, Issei says. Oh, Archibald replies, and of course she's really cute, so she makes a good wife too. Issei glazed at Ramius with a smile, and he said everything with conviction. Archibald is happy, to be honest, that his beloved sister finally found someone who truly loves her. He was just testing Issei now. Love is blind, as they say. She got those tough muscles. Let her quit and she'll become get more feminine. Archibald says. She's already perfect the way she is, Issei says. Unless she trains for being a wife, she won't be able to clean anything. Dad still cleans the room to this day, Archibald says. We're good at different things. We're all good at different things, Issei says. She's secretly a huge perv. Already know it. And I've been there too at some point. This is a girl whose dad found her hidden porn stash while cleaning the left on her desk. Are you really honestly okay with that? Ramius, who was over the cloud hearing Issei's words, suddenly snapped out of it. What? Ramius says. The mention of the porn set Ramius running like the wind out of the storm, upon which the sound of someone frantically tidying up came from somewhere in the house. In the room, there's only Issei and Archibald left. They just stare at each other. And Archibald broke the silence. Your name's Issei. Seems you're serious. I am. Issei says, well, knew this day would come eventually. Suddenly, Archibald's attitude softened as he scratched his head and sighed. I say some harsh stuff, but, I'm still her brother. I know she still tries hard, and she's got talent, but, well, it's just, you're worried about her fighting monsters and outlaws, so you wanted her to quit, right? Archibald looked away, affirming that what Issei said was correct. Ah, damn it. You're right. I want her to be a normal girl, so I never give her advice for being a knight. I just say things to try to push her away from it since I'm a siscon. Oh my god, he's a weirdo. Issei just likes Archibald to remind him of a certain red-haired girl, but he just ignores it for now. But because of you, all my teasing and belittling for nothing now. Archibald says, you should think about what you say. Or, I think she'll just hate you, Issei says. You don't get it. When she's in a murderous rage, her face is ultra cute, Archibald says. Well, for me, no matter what, she's always cute, so I can relate with you with that in a little bit. Ha! I know you'll get it, but as her brother, I've got to see if you're good enough for Remius. If you're the kind of guy who'd make her cry, I don't care if she hates me for life. I'll end you, Archibald says. Same here. I don't know if you're just worried about her as a brother just now, or you heard you bad-mouthing about her like that earlier. I would have killed you already, Issei says. Then Issei admits a little bloodlust of his own. Archibald, who received his bloodlust, sweating buckets, and internally he's screaming, what a monster! Even his bloodlust alone is that strong. But he just keeps up a brave front. Thankfully, Issei took back his bloodlust soon after that. Right, then I'm giving you a test. Wait a minute, Anya. What's this test about? Renius came back and breathed in deep breath for some reason. She's covered in dust. Quiet, you. This is between me and Issei. Isn't this about becoming his wife, though? So, with that said, Issei, fight me. Now, if you want to be my brother, overcome this trial. Sure, Issei says. Huh? Why would Issei fight you? Isn't this about accepting our marriage, Remius said? He will automatically accept our marriage after fighting him. Remius, isn't that right, brother-in-law? Indeed, Archibald says. That test isn't even necessary. Let's introduce you to Father and Lee, Remius said. Oh, right. Dad found your hiding place above the ceiling, so no use hiding point up there. What? Remius said. Remius ran out of the room once more, but to come back being even more dust-covered soon after. Then they all head outside the city to open field to start fight between Issei and Archibald. Did you really two want to do this? Of course. It's man stuff. Isn't that right, Issei? Issei replied. Got it, but try not to hurt each other. Don't worry about it. Then Issei and Archibald stare at each other. You ready, Issei? Anytime, Issei replies. Then here I go. Archibald throws his two great swords and dashes towards Issei with quick speed, given the weight of his weapons, but in Issei's eyes it's still slow. When Archibald arrived in front of Issei, he feints an attack, but Issei doesn't fall for it, and his slash just went past in front of Issei. Archibald thought, he's not going to fall for it, huh? Then how about this? Then he slashed downwards with both great swords towards Issei. Be careful, Remius said. Remius is worried about Issei because she knows how strong Archibald is. Even though she knows that Issei is also strong, she still couldn't help but become worried. Then Issei draws his sword and calmly blocked Archibald's attack. Clang! Archibald and Remius surprised that Issei blocked his attack so easily. But Archibald then repeatedly attacked Issei from any direction with all of his strength for at least 10 minutes. Ah! Archibald says, cling, cling, cling. The sound of their sword clashes keep resounding in the open field. Remius, who's watching, then becomes amazed. She's amazed by Issei's power once more. For the last 10 minutes of Archibald's full attack, he doesn't still move a single inch from his spot. Just how strong are you, Issei? She feels proud that her husband is even stronger than her brother, who known to be one of the strongest knights in the Eden Kingdom. But she also felt a little sad that she might become a burden for Issei, so she promised herself not to let it come to that. She will become even stronger. She could stand by her side, by her husband, proudly, and her wish shall become true even in the future, even though she won't be as strong as Issei, but she will not be his burden. Archibald is also amazed by Issei's power. He couldn't believe their difference is this big, but he's happy that finally someone can satisfy his craving desire for a great battle, so he's still going for another 20 minutes. After a while, Archibald dropped to his knees. He's wheezing for air because he's so tired from all the attack he launched towards Issei. Issei's still calmly standing there without any sign of fatigue on his face. He doesn't even break a single sweat after all this time. If Issei really attacked Archibald, then this battle would have ended a long time ago. So, did I pass the test, brother-in-law? Archibald heard that can only give a bitter smile and says, you passed with flying colors. Glad to have you as a Remius husband, Issei. Then Issei smiled after hearing that. Then thank you for your approval. Archibald knee. Remius becomes happy hearing that, and she jumps straight into Issei's embrace with a joyful smile. Issei calmly caught her and embraced her back. Archibald, who's seeing this, is smiling from the bottom of his heart. There's always someone better than you out there, huh? Then he lay down on the ground because he's literally tired right now. Something inside him feels peaceful after all of this time. And that is it. Chapter 34. Chapter 35. After a while, Archibald gets up and called Issei head towards back towards the Justin residence. Then they head back towards Stalin together. Along the way, Archibald asks why he wears his hood all the time. Issei told him the reason, but Archibald doubts it at first. Then Issei shows him his face. Wear your hood back, bro. If not, then Ramius here will get tons of competition, and then she will lose you for sure, Archibald says. What are you saying? Ramius says, well, can you blame me? Look at Issei's face. Even as a guy, I have to admit he's very handsome. Even more handsome than Baron. I know, but still, Ramius says. Then Issei took hold of Ramius' hand. Ramius, who felt the stifles a little, and she looked towards Issei. Issei, don't worry. No matter what happens, I won't leave you. I told you, didn't I? Issei says. Issei gives Ramius a calm smile to soothe their feelings. Ramius then cheered up right after. After a while, they reached Dressen's residence. Oi, little bro, catch! Archibald tossed something towards Issei. When Issei caught it, it found that it was a key. A key, Issei says? Yeah. The house outside Stalin, the one near the lake, it's Dressen family's second estate. Didn't you inherit that? Ramius said. I've got a house in the capital, so it's no good to me. You two use it. Issei got a little taken aback, but he regains his composure right away and says, I will pay for it. Issei says, no need. We're family after all. All right, we'll cherish it. Our deceased mother received it from the king. It's going unused now. We might as well. Ramius says, fine. Thank you, Archivellini. Don't sweat it. Oh, right. Dad must be home already. Probably humming him to himself while cleaning the bath right now. I swear. What lord does his chores? I'll go get him. Issei, just wait here. Anyway, I'm busy, so I need to go back to the capital for now. Oh, got it. Take care. Thank you for the house once more. No problem. Let me just say one thing, Archibald says. As if they were close buddy, Archibald put a hand on Issei's shoulder. Ramius is in your hands. You better not toss her aside. I won't toss her aside even if I die, Issei says. Archibald grinned widely at this. I'll leave it to you, little bro. Issei says, then Archibald left Stalin right after that. After a while, Ramius comes back with a middle-aged man, presumably her dad. He's a peaceful-looking man in early advanced age. He's unlike Ramius or Archibald at all, meaning he doesn't look like a fighter. He probably has a short bob-cut white hair, average face, and he wears what appears to be an apron for a man, like a cleaner outfit. He doesn't look like a lord of the town at all. He introduced himself. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Lord of Stalin. Tank Dressen. Issei who saw him look a bit surprised because Ramius' dad is way different from what he imagined. Ha! You look surprised that I don't look like a sterner man, Tank said. My apologies, Issei said. It's fine. I married from another family, so the Dressen family temperament was inherited by my late wife, Tank said. But father, you need to be a bit more assertive and Dressens will be looked down upon, Ramius said. Ha! You're harsh, Ramius. Now, Issei was it? I believe you wanted to talk to me. Oh, right. Please let me have your daughter's hand in marriage. Issei bowed his head a bit, and then he prepared to pay respect to Ramius' father. After all, he's going to be his dad, too. Raise your head, Issei-kun. Then Issei lifted his head towards Tank. I believe you know, but Ramius is a knight. She clearly unlike what you might call a normal person and lives in a different world from most. Do you accept that? Tank says. I accept. Besides, I'll be a knight soon enough. She's so unrefined that she can't even clean her room. Is that really okay? Yes, Issei says. I feel like I've heard this before. Issei couldn't help but feeling in a deja vu after hearing Tank's question. She's a woman, yet she has porn. Tank says. Ramius put her father in a full Nelson, preventing him from speaking. Father, say no more, please. Issei is speechless like that. No wonder he felt deja vu from before. It's the same one thing that Archibald said to him a few hours ago. After Ramius released, her father determined Issei's intentions, then immediately approved of their relationship. Archibald told me about the second house. I've already done all the paperwork, so you're free to have one you look at a wish. Thank you, Issei says. Issei couldn't help but become flabbergasted at this. Issei thought, I can't believe Richie was actually right. He actually cried and thanked me. The house is already furnished, but if you need anything more, feel free to tell me, Tank said. Thank you, but it will be more than enough as it is. I can add more to my own in case I need one, Issei says. What a good man. Don't be a shy child. After all, we're family now, Tank said. Then, thank you, father. Tank, who called Issei, called him father, couldn't help but tear up once more, and he started thanking Issei once more for marrying Ramius. Issei can only twitch his face and give a forced smile at that. Well, we'll go check on the house right now. Then, come. This is no time to sit around and sip tea, Ramius said. Ramius became more embarrassed seeing their interaction, so she dragged Issei by the hand and headed outside of the residence. At the entrance, Tank smiled while having his handkerchief towards them like a mom seeing their children off. He even still had some tears in his eyes. It's located right to the south of Stalin, so it's a convenient location for shopping as well, Ramius said. Issei couldn't help but smile wearily at Ramius' action. Ramius hurried to Issei and their new home. No need to rush. The house isn't going anywhere, Issei said, but she just ignores Issei because she wants to get out of here quickly out of embarrassment, she felt. After a while, Ramius brought Issei to the outskirts of Stalin and pointed to a large house near the lake before they saw. This is the Dressian's second house. Starting today, it's our new home. So this is going to be our new house, Issei said. Yes, you could call it our love nest. Issei, who heard that, went wide-eyed for a little as he smirked towards Ramius. Ramius, who saw that, became a little bashful. What? Nothing, Issei said. Ramius, a bit fidgety, seeing his smirk, looked like she accidentally awakened a sleeping dragon out of its slumber. Then head in the house should be the first to unlock it. Go on, Issei. Ah, got it. But Issei couldn't fit the key because he never used this kind of key before. This key doesn't seem to work. It's a magic key. You just put it in and it will open the door. Click, the door opened. Issei said. Magic keys only work for the owner of the house, their family and royalty they pledged loyalty to. Royalty? Ah, so that's what it means. It's a statement towards royalty, such as a king, as is welcome at any time. Correct. I'm a knight and you're still a soldier, so we can't defy the king. But it seems like it defeats the purpose of a key, don't you think? Issei doesn't really care if it's the king or not. As long as it doesn't bother him, he wouldn't care. But if the king somehow pisses him off, though, I wouldn't be worried. It's purely out of the idea. No royalty could actually enter our house. I feel like someone who could just do that soon, Issei said. For the most part, at least. Anyway, enough about royalty. The door already opened, so let's go inside. Sure. When they opened the door, they found an old-fashioned but artful entrance awaiting them. Ramius' main house was more fancy and Easter influenced, but this house seems more moderate. But it's still very comfortable. To be honest, Issei prefers this kind of house rather than the fancy ones. While Issei went inside to check the house, Ramius uneasily stayed put at the door. Issei saw her like that and asked, Ramius, what's wrong? Not coming in? I've heard when newlyweds first enter the house, the husband carries the wife in. I won't make you do it if you don't want to. Issei just smiled and went towards her, then picked her up bridal style. Satisfied? Issei asked with a gentle smile. Then he brings Ramius inside the house while still carrying her. Then they saw furnitures in the house. It's very expensive looking and also very beautiful. It seems Ramius' father really gave it his all, decorating the house. It's quite big, Issei said. Ramius, who's still inside, responds with it, is it? I think it's relatively normal. For you, maybe it'd be normal, but for common people, this is a very big house. I do think it's average for the houses in this era, though. How's your house look like? The Freshfish Island. I live in a twin girl house. Their house is a common wooden house, nothing too fancy about it, but I find it comfortable. I see. So you live with twin girls, Ramius said. Yeah, they are my fiancés too. They treat me when I was injured, you see. I don't remember how I got here myself. Oh, right. You said you lost your memory. You said they are your fiancés. Yeah, I fell in love with them after the time we spent together. They keep taking care of me until I'm fully healed. Well, their names are Kyo and Kinyo. I see. So the reason you want to become a knight is to marry them both. Well, yeah. They must be quite amazing girls, aren't they? Ramius went out because of Issei's word. She's afraid he will abandon her and get married to that twin. But he remembered his promise to her, so he shakes her off the uneasiest right away. Indeed, they are quite weird, you see. They told me to become the highest rank of knights and find new wives along the way, you see. At first, I was skeptical, thinking I might not find new girls I could ever love, but then I was proved wrong. Issei looked towards Ramius with a smile, and Ramius' heart thumped loudly because of his gaze. His gaze was always filled with gentleness and love towards her and always melted with happiness inside. There was painting a woman of a splendorous armor who looked identical to Ramius. Issei knows that Ramius, because they have different bearings, and most of all, her chest is a bit smaller than Ramius's. The painting is of my mother. I didn't realize it left here. I'll have to send it to my father later. You look very like your mother, Issei says. The similarities end there. As a person and a knight, she was by far the greater woman. Don't belittle yourself, Ramius. You're perfect just the way you are. I'm sure you can become even greater than your mom someday. Trust me, I will make it happen. I believe you, Ramius says. Issei smiled and asked once more. So your mom is also a knight, huh? You do mention she gets a house as a reward for her service, right? Yes, and albeit a woman, mother was their heir to the Dressian family and carried out her role as a knight, working her way up to the position of Zero Knight. I see. She can become Zero Knight, huh? And you could say I wanted to be a knight because of my mother, too. Her defense of the weak and tireless fighting on the front lines gave me the deepest respect for her, so you followed in her footsteps, Issei said. Yes, I wanted to help the weak and make a peaceful world, much like my mother did, but compared to my brother, I'm easily worked up and frequently short-sighted. I believe, thinking about it now, the people of Abel's desire to keep their distance from me is understandable. They are just idiots. And did your duty as a knight is just fine. But I realized when I met you that's not enough. I want to protect the weak, but that's objective. The ultimate ideal, so to speak. Then, first, I have to get stronger. To do that, I needed someone who'd support me at my side. The first person I should protect is you, the one who stands with me, even though you're stronger than me and doesn't need my protection, but I still want to help fight with you, even a little, Ramius. I will leave my back to you. I will count on you for that, and I'm glad I can fight with you too. Ramius is overjoyed to have Issei's trust in her. Her face smiled joyfully, then Issei lifted his head. Ramius and gave her lips a kiss. Ramius went wide-eyed, blah, blah, whatever. Issei, come day you work your way up the ranks. I, don't object to having more wives, but, well, Issei knows what she wants, says her hugs her tightly in an embrace. Don't worry, even if I have more wives, I will never forget nor leave you behind. I promise, didn't I? In any case, until you do move up the ranks and have more wives, may I have you to myself? Issei, who thought that it was cute, damn it, Ramius, you just had to do that. Well, and then, you know, they banged in their new house. So, yeah, that's the end of Chapter 35. Chapter 36. No, it's not. You were supposed to return to the capital, so why are you here? Ramius said. Oh, well, I did, but after I told the knights what I knew, I had nothing to do, so I came over here to visit, Richie said. Is that true, Ramius said? Yep, all true. The knights are already scrambling all over the place, Richie replied. Ramius said. Whatever the reason is, Least came to congratulate us, Issei said. You're too nice, Issei. So what are you really after, Richie? Ramius said. Oh, wow, you saw straight through me. I've known you from a long time at this point. Ramius shrugged, to which Richie shamelessly smiled. Issei has a tick on his mark after hearing that. Richie realized Issei's irritation, so she knows better not to tease them anymore and tell them the reason why she came here. Go on. So actually, I came to give Issei an offer, Richie said. What? So, the thing is, you know I'm a princess because of what I got the authority to personally appoint a knight. So I want to offer you since you want to become a knight, right? Richie says. If you have a high enough status, like a marquise or greater, you're allowed to appoint them, you see, Ramius said. So want to give it a try, Richie replied. What's the catch? Issei said. Nothing. I've known your strength and your personality, so I can see you easily pass the test. If I would have already promoted you myself, but there's rules, so I can't, Richie says. Appointments by individuals are special cases, but not exempt from the rules. But indeed with Issei's talent, he can easily become a zero knight, much less a normal knight. He already defeated my brother, you see, even without breaking a sweat to it that. Huh? You can defeat Achevel? Richie says. Richie becomes more wide-eyed knowing Issei is able to defeat one of the strongest zero knights of Eden Kingdom. She knows Issei is strong, but to this extent. Yeah, I fought him because it's a test from him. He said if I wanted his approval on marrying Rammus, I need to fight him, so I did. Well, it wasn't really a fight since Issei never launched an attack of his towards Tozani. Issei only blocks Ani's attacks, you see. Richie becomes totally lost for words. A guy she just met a few days ago already has the strength, strong enough to easily defeat the Zero Knight without breaking a sweat. At that too, if she might add. Knight is a prestigious position, so just becoming one wonder for your personal record. But if nobles could just appoint unqualified family members, it'd be harm the prestige of knights as a whole. Like it or not, Issei need to take a test that only soldiers can take to become a knight. Now, she's really jealous. Ramius to have such a perfect husband, strong, handsome, caring, and kind. I see, Richie said. She can only wearily smile once more. But I'm under the impression the test is over, though. Ani told us the stuff happened, Ramius said. Yeah, about that. Nobody passed the test. Did you know that? Really? I remember cutting down on knights, but that test was that difficult, Ramius said. So Issei just needs to pass it. Then nobody can complain he's not qualified at least. And I'm sure Achevel would vouch for his strength, too, if it comes to it. No, the test should be very easy for Issei anyway. It is true, Ramius said. Anyway, here's a letter of recommendation for you. Take this to the big shot from the knights in the capital. Let's see. Borrow should be good. Hand it to him. Then he should oversee your test. Borrow? Is that Borrow Roan, the one Achevel said? Like my brother, he's one of the Zero Knights. I see. Another Zero Knight, huh? Issei said. He's certainly skilled, and he's highly popular. Your test could be managed by no better person than I could think of, Ramius said. Well, probably, I guess, Richie replied. There's only why Richie feels unsure about Barrett, you see, but that shall be revealed in the future. He's not a bad person. If anything, he's indeed a good person. But that's just... Fine, now let's go, Ramius. What? Already? It's so sudden. Oh, Issei, to yourself that much. What? That's not true. I'm just surprised by the abruptness of it all. Then get going. I'm tired, so I'll read the rest of this in the house for a bit, if that's okay. Just remember to lock the door, okay? Richie said. Richie, what are you planning? Just think of this as a rich girl entertaining herself for now. Oh, get to the capital by going around the mountains and heading straight west. I know that, Ramius said. Well, just in case you forgot. My memory is not that bad, you know, but fine, let's go, Issei. Issei replied. Thank you, Richie. No problem, Richie replied. I know you're at your limit, so go ahead and take plenty of rest. You can use the bed if you want, Issei said. So you can tell. Who do you think I am? I can tell miles away that you're exhausted right now, so go ahead and take a rest, you idiot. Issei says, thank you for the offer. Then excuse me, I'm just going to use the sofa. Then she plopped on the sofa right away. What a reckless princess. Then I'm going to take care of yourself. Got it, Issei said. See you later, Richie replied. Then with that, Issei walked out to meet up with Ramius. I guess I can do this myself. Issei, hope you make it in time. She's happy that Issei's concerned for her. The conversation Richie overheard between Issei and Ramius ran through her head. Someone by your side, huh, Issei? Richie whispered before she finally began to lightly snore. During the way to the capital, Issei and Ramius came across a flower field. That's some weird big eyeball plant like in the middle of the field. But they both ignored it and just enjoyed the scenery. By a cliff, they saw a particularly white shining flower. It's very beautiful. It said if you're sent one of these flowers, you'll find happiness. It's also known for being Eden's national flower. I see, Issei said. Issei felt like he has seen a flower like this before. If he's not wrong, it looks just like a flower on Richie's hair. Then Issei proceeds to pick it up and put it in Ramius's hair. And then they have some weird intimate thing and nobody cares. Alright. They met an adventurer along the way. Oh, are you two newlyweds? There's a lot of monsters around here, so be careful, the man said. Newlyweds? Huh? Am I wrong? No, sorry, I was just a bit touched, so even crude women like me can appear that way. Crude? I think anyone would say you're cute, Ramius, especially me. I've told you that, didn't I? Issei said. Thank you. I know you feel that way about me, but I'm sure nobody else does. They are just blinds, Issei said. Make no mistake, it's not much concern to me. I'd be lying to say if it ever bothered me before, but it's fine now, because even if it's just one person, I have to tell me that I'm cute, don't I? Ramius, Issei says. Issei. Their hearts race as they look at each other's moist eyes. The man is happy seeing their interactions. They reminded him of his late wife. After that, Issei and Ramius were wandering the field, when without warning, their vision was clouded with white. Is this fog? Ramius said. It was just sunny a second ago. This fog is unnatural, Issei said. Oh, the fog labyrinth, possibly, Ramius said. Fog labyrinth? A mysterious phenomenon that occurs around the kingdom of Eden. So nobody knows what it causes it? Right. Many randomly find themselves lost and pass out looking for the exit, I heard. Issei looked back to where they came from, but the path was already covered in fog, too. His dragon's eye can't really help that much because this is not normal fog. All we can do is proceed carefully and search for the way out, I guess, Issei says. Issei isn't too concerned because he could feel something at the center of the fog, and he easily finds it. Yes, it would be a hurry. Also, just to make sure we don't get separated, I think we should hold hands. You can come closer if you're afraid, Ramius said. I'm not afraid, it's just her eyes teared up because she found out that she felt Issei's hand on hers. It's fine, I'll protect you. Ramius, who found this finally relented. Then she comes closer to Issei's side and holds his arm with both hands. Mind you, Issei felt something soft in his arm. I forgot about this. Issei took a deep breath to calm himself, and then he started walking towards the center. There's a bunch of ghost monsters along the way, and all they died from Issei's aura alone when they tried to get close. Ramius still felt a bit scared along the way, but not that much anymore. She flinches every time there's a suddenly ghastly voice in the distance, because she keeps holding Issei's arm even tighter every time it happens. Issei tries to calm himself down because he could feel Ramius' breast pressing against his arm whenever this happened. After a while, they finally reach the center of the labyrinth, and at the center of it, there's a ghost there. Ooh. Issei, I hear your crying voice. It's from a ghost. Ghost? Where? There. Ramius is a bit pale hearing the ghost. She looked towards where Issei pointed out, and she could see a bit of a shadowy figure. It's a ghost girl. She has a short brown hair that reaches her neck with a ribbon on her head, and she wears what appears to be a white shirt. The ghost says, what should we do? She's likely creating a labyrinth. Should we attack? I don't feel any ill intent coming from her, so let's wait a bit. Ooh, where is it? Is she looking for something? I can't find it, the ghost says. Are you searching for something? Hey, don't just talk to her, Ramius said. It's fine, she's harmless, but still. A flower. I'm searching for a flower, she responded. A flower? What kind? I want to give it to for making people happy. Where is it? Issei and Ramius know what the flower she's searching for. They noticed the flower on Ramius's head. Yes, that's it. I want that flower, the ghost says. Ramius is a bit hesitant because this flower is given by Issei, and Issei won't force her to hand it over to the flower to the ghost if she doesn't want to. He would rather destroy the ghost's soul rather than forcing Ramius to give the ghost against her wish. Sorry, but that flower is... Just when Issei wanted to deny the ghost's request, Ramius cut his words. No, it's fine, Issei. It's just a flower anyway. If by giving her this she's able to pass on, I don't see why we shouldn't give it to her. After all, this is a flower that makes people happy. I'm already happy just by having you by my side. Ramius smiled at Issei lovingly as she takes the flower from her hair. Issei at first becomes surprised she'd give it away because she likes that flower very much, but after hearing the rest of her words, he also smiled stars at Ramius' loving in return. I see. If that's what you want, then go ahead. I will find another flower for you later. Ramius says. Ramius looks towards the ghost and said, okay, you can have it. Then she offers the flower to the ghost even though she's still a bit afraid. Are you sure? The ghost says. Ramius suddenly nodded. Thank you. Now I can be happy too, the ghost said. The ghost girl vanished like a mirage. That ghost seemed happy. Thanks to you, Issei replied. There's a bunch of caravan of people who are waiting for the fog to clear up on the other side. When they saw the fog cleared up, they saw Issei and Ramius. They thanked Issei and Ramius for clearing the fog so they are able to pass safely. Issei told them that it's all thanks to Ramius, so they thanked her profusely, and Ramius is a bit flustered because there are so many people thanking her at once. Issei just smiled looking at her, and being all flustered like that, it's the sidelines. After they are done making Ramius and Issei, they rode off into their carriages and won't be their journey. I've never been thanked by so many people before, so I'm pretty embarrassed about it. I see, but it feels nice, right? Issei says. They then walk down the fogless road to the capital, and that's the end of chapter 36. Chapter 37. The final chapter, by the way, of this story. The Kingdom of Eden, the capital. Issei and Ramius finally reached the capital. The capital is expected the biggest city in the kingdom. The roads were packed with people, but whenever the occasional carriage passed, the crowd would split it and let it through. There's a water canal in the city, and there's a lot of people riding a canoe. The buildings are arranged nicely. They are standing strong and tall along the roads of pedestrians. There's a lot of business shops, such as blacksmithy, supply shop, delivery guild, adventurers guild, etc. But the building that stands out the most is obviously the castle in the royal district, where the kings and royalty lives. They are built on top of the beautiful mountain. Even Issei is impressed because the city looks very beautiful indeed. Because the day is getting dark, they decided to spend the night in. They don't have any that night because they need to wake up early to meet with Borrow, and both Issei and Ramius know if they really have then they won't be able to wake up in the morning. So they only sleep in the same bed and hug each other each that all night. In the morning, Ramius asked Issei that she wants to visit her mother's grave. Of course not. I hate to ask when we just got here, but do you mind if I go visit my mother's grave? Of course not. Should I come along? No, I'm telling her that I got married, but I'm embarrassed to say if you were there too, so let me go alone, if you allow me, of course. Issei can only relent at her request. Fine. Be careful, okay? And send my regards to your mother as well, or should I say our mother, Issei says. Issei couldn't help but wanted to tease Ramius. Ramius' face went red. You will send our regards to your mother. Her voice was small at the end. Issei chuckled seeing his wife's antics, so stop teasing her. Fine, take care. But before that, come here. Then he took Ramius into his embrace and gave her lips a soft. Ramius went wide-eyed by the sudden kiss. People on the road started staring at them. Ramius felt embarrassed by all the people staring at them, so she just closed her eyes, but she's squirming around Issei's embrace. Issei finally stopped the kiss. Go ahead now, he said, be bashful to Ramius. I'm going, Ramius said. Then she left Issei while still fidgeting a bit because she still remembered their kiss just now. They decided to meet up at the castle entrance. Issei parted with Ramius and walked around the town. He visited the church here. He saw Laurent again at the church. They had a conversation with each other about what they've been doing and stuff like that. Laurent realized that Issei has a golden ring on his finger. She becomes surprised finding out that Issei is already married, but she congratulates him right after that. She becomes a little jealous after seeing him already married deep inside, but there's nothing she could do either way because she's saint and she's not allowed to marry common people. After chatting a bit more, they separated with each other and Lauren is seeing Issei off again into Abletown. After walking down the street, Issei heard a familiar voice along with the previous girl's voice coming him all the way. I really don't need an offer. Stop following me or I'll scream. I'm telling you I ain't sketchy. Traveling alone's dangerous, so I'm just offering to guard for cheap. That voice. Issei was curious about the familiar voice and walked toward the alleyway. At the corner, Issei saw a shadow overcoming the alleyway. He knows there's someone just around the corner, but he never thought she was going to turn this way, and because of that, they bumped into each other. Bump. Issei receptively caught the girl from falling. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry. The girl tried to apologize, but because of the colliding with each other, Issei's hood got uncovered, and then she saw his handsome face at close range. Her eyes went wide-eyed after seeing his face. She becomes dazed just by seeing his face. Issei was already very handsome before she lost his virginity, but after losing it, his face becomes even more manly. He has a certain mature aura around him that makes the woman couldn't help but become drawn to him. Even after he wears his hood, the girls who saw him automatically attracted to his aura alone. Forget seeing his face, even his aura alone might be able to attract the opposite sex, like a moth to a flame. The girl in Issei's arm felt the body melt at his embrace because of his aura is affecting him at point-blank range, and Issei still doesn't exist that. His eyes motioned that her face went red. She felt her heart beating so fast. Issei, who saw her current face, becomes confused with them and is asked, "Are you okay?" Then after hearing his question, the girl finally snaps out of it and she hastily apologizes once more. "I'm very sorry," she said, that while bowing her head. Then a man's voice coming from behind the alley. "Hey, let me finish talking." The man saw his target, but he also saw a man he's never expected to see here. "What, Issei?" "Oh, Yarase, huh?" Yarase, to be honest, is afraid of Issei after he felt his aura after Abletown, which he admits towards Ginyu, and he's surprised seeing his handsome face. He felt very jealous, but deep inside he had to hide it. Issei could flash of envy on his eyes, though, but he doesn't know what he's envying about. And Issei doesn't really care about Yarase that much anyway. Issei asks what he's doing here. Is it to take the knight test? Yarase told him he decided to become an adventurer instead of a knight. He said being a knight doesn't fit him because he doesn't like taking orders from people, but Issei knows he's lying. From the info he gathered so far, there's a high chance that Yarase failed the test because Richie already said there's no one that passed this time, and the way Yarase averted his eyes and started sweating confirmed his guess. So he said he was waiting for a request from the Adventurers Guild, but with a chance he saw the girl, he wanted to offer his services to this girl. She's traveling alone, and he wanted to offer some protection. Then suddenly the girl cut in. Then you're out of luck. Yes, I've asked her to be my guard already." Issei becomes more confused at first, but then saw her pleading eyes towards him. He knows that this is Yarase is not a good person, so leaving her alone with him might be dangerous. Issei won't call himself a hero or anything like that, but he won't. The girl whispered towards Issei, "I'm sorry." "Please help," she pleaded once more. After Issei had her pleading once more, she finally relented and decided to play along. "She's with me. You can leave her to me." But Yarase, "I said she's with me." Issei put a bit of pressure on Yarase. "Oh, I see. Well, see you around," Yarase said. Then Yarase leaves just like a bitch. Just like, because he doesn't want to mess with Issei, but he feels a bit of resentment towards Issei after this. Thank you so much." She was terribly persistent. Once she confirmed Yarase was gone, the girl began to repeatedly thank Issei. Just be more careful from now on," Issei says. When Issei just wanted to leave, the girl called him. "But wait, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Toa." Toa wears an attire that seems like a sailor uniform, one piece at Japan, but with a bit of modification here. There, along with blue shoe and black socks, she also wears blue beret and black ribbon on her head, and she has short light brown hair that reaches her neck and green eyes. She also carries brown backpack on her back. "Issei Hyodo," Issei says. Are you a noble, perhaps?" "No, I'm not." "I see. Would you mind walking with me for a while? I would hate to run into him again. You see, if that's a bother, I'm kind of busy at the moment. I need to head inside the castle to meet up with my wife," Issei says. That's perfect, because I'm also heading towards the castle library," Toa said. "Very well," Issei says. "Thank you," Toa replies. Toa becomes happy she could walk together with Issei to the castle. When she heard he's already married, she felt a bit disappointed, but doesn't show it in her face. So they head towards the castle. Along the way, Toa keeps informing him about the city, how to use the castle as a landmark in case he ever got lost. All the capital's important facilities are set up around the castle, and all the rods are connected to the facilities. She also told him the history of the kingdom, etc. Issei is pretty surprised. She seems very knowledgeable. She said she's a tourist who likes collecting stories to read. That's also why she headed towards the library. Toa is a professional storytelling hailing from the city of Halmit, more specifically the hospital town of Huardo, which is operated by her father, Senator Lattes. Toa is sponsored by the big books company that traveled around the world telling stories, so basically advertising for them. As a professional storyteller of de facto healthcare provider, Toa is very good with people and especially with children, who love her illustrations and storytelling style. She often attacks large crowds to her readings with her playful and engaging style. Is able to help children though their long-term medical care and maintains a professional besides manner with adult medical patients. After a while, they finally reach the castle. Oh, we're at the castle. I can stop bothering you now then. Thank you once again, Toa said. She felt a bit sad she was going to separate with Issei. You're welcome, Issei replied. Then Toa waved with a smile and entered the castle. Issei just looked towards her with a smile. Rias was waiting for Issei. You're late. I was getting worried. Now let's go meet Boro. Sorry, I was helping someone. Oh, it can't be helped, shall we? Rias said, sure. Then Issei and Rias entered the castle. They headed towards Boro's office right away. They were led to the commander room in castle's night sector. It's been a while, Rias, Boro said. It has, Boro. You seem as standoffish as ever. Archibald can get along with anyone, but you honestly like his total opposite, Boro said. I'm not my brother, Issei. This is one of our Zero Knights, Boro Roan. Nice to meet you, Issei says. Boro is quite a handsome man. He has long blonde hair, tied in a long ponytail. He has light green eyes. He wears some kind of white suit with a red cape on his back suit like Archibald and white jeans. He also carries a twin sword on his waist. Baron Roan is a Zero Knight of Eden, a descendant of the Baronin, who cleared much of the southern Eden of monsters, leading the creation of the Fort Baron. Baro himself ascended to the rank of Zero during the Arthur trilogy and has gone since to manage Eden's Knights on day-to-day basis with the help of his assistant, Safai. So you're Ramius' husband, huh? Issei Hyodo, was it? But I believe I haven't introduced myself, unless Archibald D told you about me. Ha! Indeed, I saw Archibald earlier. He was overjoyed that he finally got to have a little brother. Maybe Ani could learn to keep his mouth shut, Ramius said. Ha! But you do seem less cold than the last time I saw you, Ramius. It's all thanks to Issei. Ha! Good going, pal. Issei just flashes a small smile. With a former Zero Knight mother and a current Zero Knight brother, Ramius has always seemed desperate to accomplish something herself. Eventually, she started trying to rush by taking constant reckless actions, getting her the nickname of the Loner Knight, Baro says. Baro, that's all in the past now. True enough, you found someone to stand by your side. Ramius blushed hearing this as he responded with yes. And I heard that you're able to defeat Archibald, huh, Issei-kan? Baro said. Then Baro redirected his attention towards Issei once more. If I don't know what type of guy Archibald is, I might have thought he's lying, but he's not the type who would lie about something like this, you see. Issei just said calmly, it's nothing. He went easy on me. Ha! Quite the humble attitude you have there, but Archibald already told me the full story, you see. He fought you with all his strength, and you calmly block his attacks, so I've heard. Issei just stays silent at that, but Ramius confirmed it indeed. Ani's attacked Issei with all his strength, but he blocked it by Issei. Oh, I see. I would like to fight you myself, but I'm kind of busy at the moment. Archibald is out at the moment. But if you want, you can leave a message to him, and I will tell him later. No, we're here to see you. See, we were given this. Ramius gives a letter of recommendation, Richie, to Boro. Oh, a letter of recommendation. I see. Even our young lady Richie has her problems. I would have just appointed you to become a knight myself. If I could, you see, your strength is already confirmed by Archibald himself anyway, but the rules are rules, so no shortcuts allowed. Very well. I can oversee your knight test. However, this test isn't official, so whether you pass it or not, I cannot appoint you as a knight. Understood? Got it, Issei replied. Then I'll tell you the conditions of our recruitment test from the other day. An abnormal phenomenon called the fog labyrinth occurs around the capital. Determine and stop the cause of this anomaly. The fog labyrinth? That's the thing, huh? Oh, sounds like you're already familiar with it. Well, you see, we already determined the cause and stopped it. Huh? Bro said, yeah, on our way we encountered the fog labyrinth and we finished the problem. Tell me the details. Then Ramius proceeded to tell Bravo what happened in the fog labyrinth. I see. You're far more oppressive than I imagined. I think you're perfectly fit to be a knight. What a lucky coincidence, huh? To think you already passed the test even before knowing the content. Stuff happens. Issei says, fine, you pass. Whatever the reason why you want to be a knight, I'll vouch for your talent. But it's too bad, though. If this were an official test, I had recruited you as soon as possible, Baro said. And why is that? Issei said, well, this isn't public knowledge. But when the soldiers we sent on a mission saw the ghosts, they fell into disarray and even began to attack each other. I think I can understand that. I can say facing an unknown foe shook me up, at least, Remius said. But the same thing didn't happen to you. Why is that? Well, because Issei was with me. Wait, don't ask me that. Ha! Sorry, but you'd surprise how few people stay calm when they feel threatened. In fact, everyone who failed the test even tried to make excuses by spreading rumors that the Fog Labyrinth was dangerous. Actually, the Fog Labyrinth is harmless. Beyond getting people lost, the monsters are one thing, but the ghost itself never attacked anyone. In other words, you knew about the labyrinth and the ghost already. Do you know anything about the ghost girl was? Yes, a few years back, I think. On one foggy day, a girl lost her life. Ever since then, there's been sightings in the fog labyrinth of a ghost girl wandering in search of a flower. Giving her the flower she wants to drop for her for a while, but we've had our hands full, so the monsters that we haven't been able to do as of late. Then why didn't you say to give her that flower as part of the test? Ramius said. That wouldn't be much of a test now, would it? Listen, knights have to combat more than vicious monsters. If you determine that another human is harmful to humanity, you'll have to fight them as well. That's why a knight must always keep thinking. You have to find out who the true enemies are on your own. So you wanted to see what participants do if they see the ghost, huh? Exactly. Well, if they just reported that she has no ill intent, that would have been fine on its own. But I'm surprised you even gave her the flower as well. It's Ramius who did it. What? But it was you who got the flower. He said, that just means you both are nice people. Well, that seems even more unfortunate we're forced to let a big fish go, it seems. Bro shrugged, looked down at the desk, and wrote up a document. Here's proof of your strength. I doubt anyone would want to get on Dressian family, and a man who can beat a Zero Knight by himself on his bad side. But if anyone does doubt you, show them this. Thanks a lot, Issei says. No problem. I know you're busy combating outlaws, so I thank you for taking the time to do this, Ramius says. There have been several outlaw sightings, but not one to this degree that we need to take action just yet, Issei says. Issei and Ramius feel something wrong because Richie said the knights were on the move because of the sparkle bombs. Didn't you hear what happened in Abel? Ramius said. I did. A young girl left town and got kidnapped. I feel deeply sorry for her, but has been rescued, no? Ramius felt even more worried after hearing that. Issei also felt the same thing. I'm sorry, I just remembered something urgent. We'll be leaving now. Thank you once more, Issei said. What a nice couple. Be careful on the way home. Ramius. It sounds like Richie played us for fools, Ramius said. Indeed. She said she told the knights about the sparkle bombs, but that doesn't seem to appear to be the case. Sparkle bombs are very dangerous. If they were used in the city, we would have countless casualties. They should be mobilizing everyone available. That idiot princess, Issei says. Outlaws are just a pack of bandits. They wouldn't be able to produce sparkle bombs on their own, so they must be mastermind behind it. Richie didn't inform the knights because if they entered the state of high alert, then the mastermind would have noticed something wrong, and all be for naught. I'll come too. I still have business with that idiot. Anyway, thank you, Issei. With you, it should be pretty easy to help her. Then let's head towards the old outlaw's den we found last time. Let's go. Then they headed towards the outlaw den. And that is as far as the story goes. That is the end of chapter 37 and the absolute finale to What If Issei Went Rogue, which I feel like this story did not do the title justice, which obviously I wouldn't know that yet because I didn't read all 37 chapters before I actually titled the whole entire series. So, overall, the story wasn't bad. It got really boring at the end, I can't lie. In my own personal opinion, it was kind of dry at the end, but hey, I mean, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So overall, hopefully you guys did enjoy the whole entire series. This most likely will be coming out in movie format with Neglected and OP. I know I haven't done that in movie format either. But yeah, I just wanted to do part 10 because I've been posting some shorts lately, and your boy finally is not emotionally damaged anymore, so I can finally record another video without the pain of thinking about women. So, yeah. I mean, it's been quite a while, so once again, thank you to all my balance breakers that stuck with me in the thick through thin. Even when I wasn't posting for like 2 weeks, people still stayed in the balance breaker state, which I cannot thank you enough, like seriously. It actually brings me extreme joy, if anything. So I'm back now, and I plan on doing a lot of stuff, and I mean actually a lot of stuff. So just expect some big things. I've been teaching myself how to edit a couple things here and there, so I'm practicing to get better on even the simple things, because, the Kaizen method. But yeah, so I've also been training a lot for college, if you haven't already guessed, and I am in pretty good fucking shape right now. So hopefully I finally come with the smoke. No, I'm just kidding. I've been come with the smoke. I've been doing pretty good. But so thank you so much for the support, guys. If you guys want to become a balance breaker, limit breaker, an Ultra Instinct member, or a limit breaker in general, click the little blue link right down in the description below if you guys want to know exactly when I upload. Once again, click the first link down in the description below. And without any further intrusion, let's hit 300 to 400 likes. And Spartanic Arts DxD out.